Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who's back and will entertain many of your questions here tonight, if you so choose. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Big Brother recap. We've got a what should be a very fun show here tonight. We have first off a great guest. I know that you guys were expecting to see a superstar of reality TV, and that is exactly what we're bringing you once again here tonight. The star of Survivor Gabon, Survivor legend, Randy Bailey. Randy, how are you?
Hey, Rob. It was a little bit of an oversell, but I will take it.
Okay. Randy, very excited to have you here. So I don't think we've ever talked Big Brother before, right?
We've gotten sidetracked a time or two on recap Survivor shows and talked about it, but not a podcast dedicated to Big Brother. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm a bigger Big Brother fan than I am a Survivor fan nowadays.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. Okay, so a lot to get to. And Randy, very gracious to return to the podcast after some of the ugliness from last time, and we don't need to get into any of that. Of course, a man who knows nothing about ugliness. Here is the great Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I'm good. I snuck in a bowl of cereal before I came to do the podcast.
What number was that, 730?
Oh, I'm beating Matt. I'm at like 840.
Yeah. Randy, what do you think about all this cereal this guy's eating?
I don't find it funny. I find it stupid. I don't even think we should acknowledge the cereal thing.
Moving on. All right, so we are taking your questions here tonight with Randy Bailey. Good questions only. Hashtag RHAP. Very busy day today. Of course, the Survivor 35 Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers cast dropped. Very excited to be involved with a really exciting podcast series that Josh Wigler had recorded on location in Fiji, edited altogether by our own Taran Armstrong. The summer of Taran continues. Taran, just again, kudos to you and the job that you did putting together Josh's vision on this.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. It's really such a great idea, and I usually don't get to like really stretch my my editing muscles when it comes to editing podcasts. So this one was really fun to dig into. Okay,
so you can check that out on robhasawebsite.com. I will also be talking with Mike Bloom later on tonight to do our first kickoff podcast about Survivor 35. So excited to get into that. You should have that by tomorrow morning. Randy, are you excited for Survivor 35?
You know, you just broke the news to me just this second that the cast broke today. I had no idea. That shows you how out of touch I am. But yeah, I'm always excited.
What would you classify yourself? More of a hero, healer, or hustler?
Unfortunately, this is a theme that I do not fit real well in, to be honest. So, but if I had to, I'd probably say, and this may shock you, but I would say that I'm a healer.
Healer. Okay.
And you've seen that side of me, Rob. Most people haven't, but I remember this summer you accused me of being a healer. Do you remember that?
I accused you of being a healer this summer.
Yeah, when I was in Cincinnati and I was setting something up.
Yes.
So we talk about that.
Yes. A healer of wounds. All right. Well, we are going to be talking about tonight's episode, which mostly was about the hide and go veto competition where the house guests get to tear the house apart. Randy, I always find that this is a little double dare for my taste. Do you like the hide and go veto competition?
Yeah, I like it. I've often wondered who has to fix the house. Do the house guys do it, or does production? Do they send them out in the backyard and does production do it, or what?
Yeah, production does it, right, Taran?
No, they've got free labor in the house. They make the house guys clean it up.
Yeah. Okay. So that I guess that doesn't really serve them to make that much of a mess. And we got to see them rip the house to shreds. But before we get into that, Randy, let's talk a little bit about Big Brother 19. Have you been enjoying this season? I know you said you like Big Brother more than Survivor now.
You know, that's I don't like either one any more than the other one. You know, it's. I remember I tweeted in the first 30 minutes of the premiere episode. I said something like, "This was the best first half of a premiere of Big Brother ever," and most people agreed with me. And then, you know, Paul showed up, and from there it just went downhill. Totally predictable. The only thing I've enjoyed about it is trying to get live tweets on the Thursday night show, which I have been successful at.
Yes, but now you recently deleted your Twitter, Randy. What gives?
You know, I just needed a break. I find myself watching these shows, and instead of enjoying the show, I'm trying to think of something clever to tweet. And you know, I'll tweet it, and if it doesn't blow up with, you know, tons of likes and tons of retweets, you know, I'm like, anyway, it's to quote Seinfeld. I know you're a fan. It's not you, it's me. And
I think it's going on a high note.
Say what?
I thought you were gonna say that it was like go out on a high note.
Well, I'll be back. You know, after 30 days, all your deactivation is permanent. So I've got my calendar marked. I'll come back on like day 28. You know, because I do enjoy it. It's just I like Randy Bailey on Twitter a whole lot more than the Randy that's on Twitter. You know,
okay.
It affects my work, and you know, it's. I'm going to take a 4-week hiatus, and I'll be back.
Okay. So we saw tonight a little bit more about Paul and the plans that he is working on with all of these pairs. And there, you know, was the talk in the house of trying to backdoor Kevin this week. And we got to see, you know, overall, considering everything going on this week, a pretty favorable edit for Whistle Nut in terms of trying to protect Kevin in the house. And there was some talk about the mob mentality of the Big Brother 19 house. Randy, do you have any thoughts on that? And did you ever see that on Survivor?
You know, everything we've seen on Big Brother the last probably 6 weeks has just been a smokescreen to what everyone knows is going to happen. You know, Cody, Matt, Elena, you know, tomorrow night will be, you know, Raven or Matt, and the next Thursday will be the one that survives tomorrow night. And, you know, all this, you know, everything, you know, taking one of them, putting Kevin up tonight, that was, you know, no chance. You know, it was just, you know, just like last week. It's you know, the editors think we're stupid, and you know, we may be, I may be, but you know, I'm not falling for it. It's been a, you know, once Jody left, it's not been a good season.
Yeah. Taran, we got to see a little bit of the group trying to convince Jason that Kevin was a bad guy. Here was Alex talking about what's wrong with Kevin. Try that one more time.
Nobody hates him. We just don't like him.
I'm the only one that doesn't hate him? Why?
Because he's a douchebag.
Kevin is a douchebag.
Yeah. Clearly,
Yeah.
I mean, it's self-evident. Did you see the side eyes? I mean, come on.
Yes. Did you see how he combs his hair with a toothbrush and gives the side eye? It almost made it seem like Alex was being strategic in that, oh, I know that Whistlenut doesn't like people that are mean. So if I just start talking about that Kevin is a douchebag, then Kevin won't, or Whistlenut won't like Kevin anymore.
Well, it's you know, we should be praising Alex. She's figured out the secret, the unlocking, Jason. He doesn't like people that are mean, and that's pretty rare in a person. So it's pretty amazing that she found it out. But yeah, I mean, she figured it out, and now she's just doing this very smart thing, which is trash talking him, which we've never seen before. It's very innovative. I'm honestly in awe.
Randy, do you feel any compassion for Kevin as the elder statesman in the house?
I don't know. He got my spot the way I look at it. I applied this season, and I think he's a couple of years younger than me. So I didn't like him from the start. His game is toast. He's done. He's and after Maven goes the next 2 weeks, I would guess my money would be on Kevin.
Yeah.
And then probably Whistlenut. It's really sad that and if that comes to fruition, I'll watch just because we have to watch. Being in the club, we have to watch, but it's getting boring. And yeah, I blew off your question a minute ago. I apologize. You asked about the mob mentality.
Yeah.
It happened in Gabon. When I got voted out, I think Corinne was the only one that liked me. And so I don't know, but I don't want to talk about that. That happened like 20 years ago. So
yeah.
Yeah,
but it does happen. It does happen a lot on these reality shows. It's kind of an underreported story, and I think we see more of it on Big Brother than we do on Survivor because of the nature of the live feed.
And when it happens, there is nothing. The momentum is just so great that there's no way to stop it. I have never seen such bullying as this season. I thought Josh was weak. I thought he was going to rival Devin and being funny, but he just got mean and I've got the reputation as being one of the meanest people out there, and even I was offended.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted Cody to get kicked off for kicking Josh's ass. I would have loved to have seen that.
That would have been fine if that would have happened. And you like Jessica too, Randy?
Yeah, I do. I like them both. They were, I watched some of the feeds and they, they've got a little growing up to do. They when they weren't even playing the game and they were playing the dating game, both of them had a little bit of an immature streak that was not real attractive, but I'm sure they'll grow out. But no, they were my favorite two players. I loved Cody. He was Team Jody all the way.
Yeah. Randy, have you ever seen a player in reality TV exert as much control as Paul seems to have over this group?
Not this much. And I mean, this is this, and Dan Giesling, he was great, and Boston Rob in Redemption Island, but that was a little. This is he's got these people so brainwashed. It's it's embarrassing. Tonight there was one little scene that most viewers probably didn't pick up on it, but Josh was in bed and Josh said, Paul, should I take a nap?
Yeah.
And Paul says, no. And Josh said, and the only reason that scene was just show the control. I mean, it's terrible. If there are any applicants, whether they're Big Brother applicants or Survivor applicants, watching this thing, if you show up on day one and Coach is there, or Boston Rob is there, or Paul or Dan Giesling is there, vote them out. It's that simple, because they're going to get they're going to get production help. 2 weeks of immunity. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, that's what Cody tried to do. He was going for it, and then he had the right idea.
Yeah. Randy. Another thing that I listened to your Jessica interview 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, and she mentioned you asked her if she was a Paul fan as a viewer, and she admitted that she was a huge Paul fan, and the light bulb went on. I bet that question was asked every single player in casting, and they just with Paul, minions.
Yeah. Well, there does seem to be a lot of people that were fans of his from the previous season, and then except for Cody, he said that he did not like the way that Paul played the game. Taran.
Yeah, I mean, Paul he's playing a very aggressive game, so it's bound to happen. And he really, I think we can put a level of blame on Paul for creating this atmosphere.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the veto competition. Taran, what happened? I thought that James Hewling and Beast Mode Cowboy were coming in to host this competition.
Well, actually, this is a little known fact. They did come to host this competition, but they both hid so well that nobody ever found them.
Yeah. Good job. So everybody got to be in this competition. They were really setting up the stakes of Kevin. If Kevin wins the veto, things could potentially be very problematic. Taran, were you impressed with where anybody hid the veto tonight?
No, and I was confused why it took them so long to find them, because like 4 of the 6 of them hid them in cushions, and like, why didn't you look in all of the other cushions then? If that's where you hid yours, obviously other people are going to hide theirs in a similar spot. Randy, where would you have hid the veto?
Let me make an observation. Got the feeling that house guests do mess and make entertaining TV as opposed to finding a good hiding spot. I mean, they're just dumping over stuff. They'd all seen the competition before, and it's just stupid. They all seem to be mugging for the camera, and it's what was up with that inflatable that Paul was wearing.
That's his bit. That's Pablo. That's Pablo.
Remember,
that's what he does. Yeah. All right. So, Taran, things, really.
Where?
Yes.
I keep not answering your questions. Where I would have depends on who I was. If you needed the veto, then look for a good place, and I there's got to be better places than we're seeing. There's got to be. Mm-hmm. You've been in the house. I mean, there's got to be.
I've never been in the house. I've been to the house, but I've never been in there. Taran, I'm sure you've thought about this. Where is the best place to hide the veto, or are you waiting until you play to use this spot?
Well, I mean, I've been asked this question before, and I have fake said, and I will fake say again, that I would be terrible at this competition. I have no idea where I'd hide it.
What, are you worried that you're going to be like on the block and then the people won't pick you to play in the veto if you say you're good at it?
Look, if I someday go into the Big Brother house and this is the week, the only week I'm ever in danger, I need the veto, and then somebody listened to this podcast and they know exactly where I'm going to hide it, everyone's going to go, "You are the dumbest player ever, Taran. Why did you give away your hiding spot? You needed it." And I'll just be like, "Yeah, you're right. I am dumb." So, yeah.
I think I would fake an injury right in front of the diary room and get them to open the door and then shove it in there.
Mm-hmm. So during the hide and go veto, first off, Kevin was upset that he thought that they dumped out his clothes on purpose. Taran, did you feel like that they dumped out Kevin's clothes to make him mad?
I'm pretty sure they did, but I don't remember exactly. But I mean, like Kevin, he's very particular about his clothes. He doesn't like it when people touch his clothes. So this happens every single time. There's at least one person that is upset about their things being touched, and this person was Kevin this season.
He didn't care for that. Now, we got a bit of Josh making a gruesome discovery, Randy, during this hide and go veto. Now, Taran, correct me if I'm wrong. The stockpile of condoms, did he not already find this?
Yeah, they already all found this. They had a big moment about it, but I think they cleverly wove this into the veto competition, and I thought it was actually pretty well done.
Yeah. Was it a actual scene from the veto competition?
I think so. I think if you look, he pulls out the drawer and he has a little bit of a reaction, but it's mostly in the DR that he's like, "Whoa, condoms! Where did these come from?" So it was clever the way they did it, because there obviously wasn't much of an actual scene, but they made it seem like there was just by diary room sessions.
Okay. Randy, a shocking discovery in the Big Brother house.
Yeah, who was using them? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Matt and Raven.
Think?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right there?
Oh yeah. Using plenty of them.
Yes.
Which,
yes.
I mean, is more than what can be said for Cody and Jessica. So.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know what's going on there.
I'm getting that. I bet they're not using them.
Yeah. Whoa.
They're just taking them.
They just put them there, just like on Survivor. There's condoms in our medical kits, and no one ever uses them.
Yeah, well, I think we have on good authority that they're being used this season in Big Brother 19, Randy.
Who's the authority?
The live feeds.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't watch the live feeds. I just watch
when you watch Big Brother After Dark, they can't show that on Pop.
Right. Yeah, that's all I do is the After Dark show. But I stand corrected. They're using them.
Yeah, I mean, you're really missing out. If you enjoy watching Matt and Raven kiss on the show, as we all do, then you'll really enjoy watching them on the live feeds.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So Whistle Nut ultimately wins the veto. Randy, do you like Jason?
Yeah, he's. Yeah, I like him. He's all right. His scene with his family last week was touching. We're supposed to like him.
Yeah. Now, it's really a tale of two cities when it comes to Whistle Nut, Taran, because we have, on the one hand, TV show Whistle Nut, which is, really squeaky clean, and he's finding out about his baby. But then we have really, TMZ has been following this Big Brother season very closely, and they ran an article about Whistle Nut making a comment about how if Kevin were to screw him over in the game, he would do something terrible to Kevin's wife and make the kids watch. Really, not a good, very terrible thing for Whistle Nut to say. That TMZ running with that story as well. Really, for Whistle Nut, that two different stories being told.
Yeah, I think part of it for the show is that Jason is who we're being seen or who we're seeing on the show, and like he is the person that doesn't hate Kevin. And those comments that he made, I think. Another reason why they wouldn't show it on the show is that, in the full context, and I know that, people don't really care about the context. They're ugly comments to begin with. I am in no way defending them. However, the context of the comments was in a joking manner and saying, like, what is the worst thing that I could say about Kevin? It would be this. So it was a much more theoretical thing than an actual kind of threat, which we have heard those kinds of threats on the feeds before. Frankie Grande has done one of them, and And Alex is very much on the other side of things, where Alex is being actually vicious toward Kevin, and not saying them in a theoretical sense, but obviously the subject matter in which that Jason brought up is no good. He shouldn't be saying this at all. It's very dumb. However, what you're seeing on the show is also accurate. He actually doesn't have as much malice toward Kevin as basically everyone else in the house.
Yeah.
Very gumpy.
Very gumpy, that whole thing. Not good, Randy, for Whistlenut.
Yeah, I know several Big Brother alumni that have told me stories about sound bites being picked up by the mics when they're saying something they're trying to be funny, and actually they have no. I've heard stories, and I'm not going to name any names or specifics, but they're saying something just to amuse production into a mic, and it backfires, and TMZ gets a hold of it, and I don't know if you know what I'm alluding to, but it's.
I think so.
It's come close to ruining some of these contestants' lives, and
right.
And Taran hit the nail on the head that. He was joking. He was kidding. These guys have been in the house for 2 months, 24 hours a day. They're going to say some stuff that they regret, and all of them will. And it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, but I think there's a little difference just in terms of like parsing this. It wasn't like that he was making a joke about like hey, yo mama. I mean, he was basically like trying just to go along. I'm assuming that everybody was talking about how much they hate Kevin, and he was like, well, if Kevin screws me over, well, I'll show him. And so of course, this is an idle threat, but a very stupid one to be making for Whistlenut, and definitely not the first time that he has put his foot in his mouth. I don't know what you're gonna do. That you hope that there's not going to be like major repercussions. These things do get said in the heat of the moment. So, but it's just, really like it's such a crazy thing of like being shown such in a flattering light on the show, and then having this stuff going on in the real world is a lot to wrap our heads around. So we saw Matt and Raven talking about, did Jason say that he would take Raven off the block if he won the veto? Taran, I know you guys were talking about this on the live feed updates this week. Do we think that Jason actually did say this?
I went back to watch this part of the episode to check and make sure, because basically, I mean, what's happening here is that Jason essentially claims that he didn't say that, and so this is Raven we're talking about. So it very easily could have been made up. But I did go back. He did say to her as he hugged her, "We'll take you off." So this was said. Jason just apparently doesn't remember.
Okay. Now, Randy, what do you think about Raven? You said you don't love Matt. You're a Raven fan.
No, I'm not a Raven fan. She's a lunatic. I can't remember when it was. It was probably a month ago, and I think Jody was still around, and everybody was bullying Jody, and Raven was screaming at them. She was leading the charge.
Woof woof.
So yeah, I don't like Raven. I don't like any of them. You know me. I don't like anybody. But,
not one of them, Randy.
Matt is pretty. He's not doing anything to not like. Whistlenut's okay. Kevin's okay, but I am just so sick of Paul. Just so sick of him.
Yeah.
This Big Brother has just rammed him down our throats, and I guess they know what they're doing for ratings, but I don't appreciate it.
Okay. So ultimately, that everybody's trying to push Jason to use the veto so that they could take Kevin out. Taran, could you just set up, because I don't know if the show necessarily made this clear, why was that such a priority for Paul to get Kevin on the block this week?
Well, they didn't really show this in the correct order, but basically, Paul's initial hope was don't use the veto at all. Hopefully, Kevin wins it, and then he won't use it, and nobody gets blamed. But when Jason won, he recognized, and I had actually pointed this out earlier in the week, that like it actually might be better for him if he sends Kevin home, because Kevin is a number for Alex or Jason theoretically. So he had the idea, okay, well, let's just send Kevin home then. Let's follow through with this plan. He'll take Raven down, we'll put Kevin up, and we'll send Kevin home. And so he gets Alex on board with this, and Alex pushes this immediately. We should put Kevin up on the block so that we can send him home. And obviously Jason's like, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Now, Taran, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it for Paul that Kevin stays in the house this week?
It's not particularly bad at all. Paul, Kevin is still very loyal to Paul. Matt and Raven, they're as we saw in the episode, are still clueless. There's really not that much of a downside.
Could you potentially give me the name of like one negative potential outcome for Paul winning the HOH on Thursday night?
If he has to,
would there be one? What would be the worst possible outcome for Paul after Thursday night's HOH?
You mean if he won, or
if so? For which person would have to win HOH for it to be the worst case scenario for Paul?
Ooh, maybe Josh at best. Just because. I mean, it wouldn't be great if Alex did, but Alex is gunning for Kevin at this point. But Josh has been expressing some doubts about Paul. So theoretically, if more stuff gets out, and Josh goes crazy and decides to just like gun for Paul, but it's such a long shot. There's really not much of an outcome that's bad for Paul next week.
Yeah. Sandy in the chat says himself that would be the worst case scenario if he won the HOH, but he could potentially get, I think he's in such a good spot that he can ultimately, make it work, even going after each other. So, Scott, I want to get into some questions here with Randy as we go through stuff, and then we'll get into the live feeds. Of course, we did not get to see any of the fireworks that ensued following the veto competition. We'll talk about that in the spoilers, and I'm sure we will see that on the show on Thursday night. But Jason did something unusual that I've never seen before. He said, okay, now that I did not use the veto on you, I will present both of you with the opportunity to ask me a question if you choose. Taran, is there any precedent for this?
Well, wasn't it Jason earlier in the season that did something similar, where he was was it the veto ceremony where he was just like he asked, I don't remember what he did, but he asked somebody for like thoughts after the thing had ended. So Jason is just trying to innovate the veto ceremony and turn it more into a Monday meeting from BB2.
He's a game changer.
Yeah.
Randy, what'd you think of that? Here is your opportunity to ask any questions to me. And neither of them were like, why didn't you use the veto on us?
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to. I'm going to blow that question off. I wanted to add something to what Taran was saying. I don't know why they're making such a big deal about not using the veto tonight, because it's clear to me that Matt, Raven, and Kevin are probably the next three, unless there's a veto one that postpones somebody a week, and I would I think Matt's first, Raven's second, Kevin's third, and then I'm guessing Whistlenut's fourth. And who they take out, it's just simply jury management for whoever's HOH. And like to add to what Taran was saying, there is nobody. Paul doesn't care who wins HOH.
Yeah,
he shouldn't win it. He should let anybody else win it, and he's fine.
Okay.
As much as I hate to say that, because I'm tired of him.
Let's get to some questions with Randy. This is from Jennifer. She wants to know, What do you think about the use of the words boys and gumpy in the house that Paul has been using this season?
Very gumpy.
Randy, did you know about this? That Paul has been using some new words in the house that when something is good, it's boys, and when it's bad, it is gumpy.
Very gumpy.
Very gumpy.
I don't know. That's, is that new? To be honest, I haven't even picked up on that. I tweeted the other
live feeds than on the show.
Okay, yeah, because I tweeted the other night that I watched last week's episode in 19 minutes to set a new record. So I haven't picked up on Gumpy or boys, but it's Paul got a lot of mileage off of friendship, and he's just trying to do that again.
Do you have any catchphrases, Randy?
Not that I know of. Maybe kiss my ass, but I certainly didn't invent that one.
Okay, that's good. I can see that on a T-shirt. Is kiss my ass good or bad?
It's kind of gumpy.
All right, Edmo, do you think that Jason is in a better or worse position than pre-veto? Taran, Jason, good move or bad move for his game to not use the veto?
Oh, it was a good move. I mean, Kevin being in the house is a good thing for him, even if he doesn't even realize that. I mean, he was the target coming into this week. He remains he remains the target leaving this week. So it's not like he improved his game by any means, but he didn't screw it up any further, really, by sending Kevin home, which would have been terrible.
Okay. And then Andy wants to know, can someone make a montage of every time a house guest said, "This is Big Brother. We know." Yeah. Last season, they used to say, hey, it's not Big Baby. It's Big Brother. So I guess, Randy, what do you think about This is Big Brother?
Yeah, I apologize. I have not... I hadn't picked up on that. So,
well, Randy, the Survivor version of that is that every time a contestant starts a confessional with, in the game of Survivor, it's always like this is Big Brother, and it's always in the game of Survivor, blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's if you want airtime, use the word of the name of the show that you're on. There was an episode in Gabon where I pointed at when we were starving and weren't eating rice. I pointed at GC and waved a stick at him, saying, "This is Survivor. We're going to be hungry." Of course, they're going to play that because that's what CBS is selling. And so in the diary room, if they say, "This is Big Brother," of course I'm going to lie. That's. Congratulations, you just made TV. Yeah.
Taran, is that true for guests of the Taran show that you'll leave in all the times that they say, like, "Hey, look, this is the Taran show"?
Oh, it's totally true. Completely true. Nobody's actually done it yet, but it would be true if they did.
Okay, let's do one more question to the live feeds. John Marcellus, when BB sets up for a comp in the yard, what happens? Does production lock the doors to the yard? How long is the yard off limits? They lock them in the house. They put the doors down. They hear a big racket, and then they work on building stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. All right. I want to get into the live feeds to talk about some of the craziness from earlier this week. Tomorrow night, Ramsey Soto will be joining us on the podcast. Very excited to talk to Ramsey's on Thursday night after the eviction. So be on the lookout for that. And without further ado, let's get into talking about what's happening on the live page.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
All right.
I noticed you didn't dance, Randy.
How are you seeing me? All the audio was coming from Rob, so I thought that the video was on him. I was just sitting here bored. but I do have a question, Taran. and I mean no disrespect at all. We follow each other on Twitter, and we talk a little bit. But why are you, or not why, but how are you the expert on like setting up stuff in the backyard and stuff? Are you?
I don't know. I mean I have a degree in dance and carpentry. So
okay, that explains it. Thank you.
Yeah, I made.
You have a degree in dance?
Yeah.
When do you dance? I never see. I never seen this.
Spoiler song. Didn't you see my great moves?
Are you joking around? You really have a degree in dance?
Of course I'm joking around. What do you mean?
Oh, well, I don't know what that had to do with. I'm with you, Randy. I don't know what Taran
Raven said her GPA was dance.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's. I'm sorry, I missed that from the other night. It went over my head. I'm with Brent on sarcastic Taran tonight.
All right.
So let's get into the live feeds. And Taran, I know you guys covered it on Monday, but I was loving the live feeds on the after the veto ceremony, and very fun to see Matt and Raven get so upset about the lack of being saved by the veto.
Yeah, they were not happy. And it seemed like Matt might be okay with it, because Matt seems to be okay with everyone. He was all smiles, but for the most part, he was he got very upset when he felt like Jason was hiding. They showed that at the end of the episode here. Jason was in the storage room, and he was like, "Whoa, dude, why are you hiding? Why are you hiding like a punk?" He was not happy. Not happy.
I loved it on the live feed update on, I think it was a Tuesday with Liana, when you were just not just the voice, but you were also like doing like the physicality of the what?
Yeah, Matt's he's very animated. Yeah, somebody made that into a great gif of Liana and I doing what?
And Randy's friends.
What?
Yeah, he was very upset, Randy, that Jason went into the storage room and was hiding in the storage room, not confronting Matt right after the veto ceremony.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very upset about that. So there was a big confrontation. I hope we get to see a lot of that going on. And kudos to Whistle Nut for how he handled that. He was just like, I don't know, man. I didn't want to use the veto. So they were very upset with him. Why did he say he was going to use the veto and then he didn't use the veto? So all of that was going on Monday. And then we also had a big confrontation between Kevin and Josh, where it looked for a little while, Taran, that people thought Kevin had been removed from the game.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this a couple times throughout the feeds. Kevin got very upset with Josh. He picked up a glass and was basically threatening to bash it over Josh's skull. Feeds go down for like 2 hours, so we're left to wonder, did something happen? Yeah,
a lot of people thinking that maybe it could have been like a Willie Hance situation. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed. So, Randy, one of the big stories of the week has been that with Raven on the block, Matt is a have-not. He has decided that he is throwing the have-not rules out the window. He's not going to eat slop. He's going to not sleep in the have-not room. He's going to shower as he pleases, going to eat everything in sight. Randy, does this bother you that the sanctity of the have-not has been violated?
Wasn't there some sort? What's the penalty for doing that?
So Big Brother has given Matt a penalty vote against him as he sits on the block. Taran, can you talk about Matt's original plan to accumulate as many penalty votes as possible?
Yeah, I mean, he basically just doesn't plan on being a have-not anymore. He's going to eat all the food he wants, take all the hot showers he wants, and sleep with all the ravens he wants. So he's basically, the plan is they can keep piling on penalty votes, but I want to go home anyway because I want Raven to stay. So it's all good for him.
Yeah. Now
is one vote the maximum you can get, or do you get one vote for each infraction?
Well, that's the thing. We've never really seen anyone do this many infractions. I believe there's never been more than one penalty vote. So as it stands, it seems like there's only one.
I've seen a lot. Yeah.
They ought to take away his condoms. That'll get him to eat slop.
That's a penalty. But just one for every bowl of cereal.
Yeah, he wouldn't care about the points, but
yeah,
hit him where it hurts.
Yeah. So for Matt, I've seen a lot of the alumni very upset about this. Taran, are you as upset about this?
I mean, no. I mean, it's annoying. Matt's annoying. I'm more upset about the fact that he's like completely willing to go home for Raven and like doesn't care about the fact that Paul can probably beat Raven in the end, and still encouraging her to take Paul to the end. I mean, he just doesn't care about the game at all. That's what I think is annoying. The fact that he's not respecting the sanctity of the have-nots is like not the biggest deal in the world to me, because I don't care about have-nots.
Yeah. It doesn't get me too worked up, just because I think we have on good authority that Matt sucks. I mean, there's no surprise here. It's not like that we expected anything from him. We've expected absolutely nothing from this guy the whole time. He has delivered on those, or he's even under-delivered on that bare minimum of absolutely nothing. And the fact that he's going to give up his game for Raven, will Matt and Raven be together by Columbus Day, Taran?
No.
I'm
gonna say no.
He's
When is Columbus Day?
I think it's like the second week in October.
Oh shoot!
Like October 12th or something.
I think Labor Day is like 50-50.
Labor Day.
I don't know. I think there's a chance it's like a Natalie James situation where maybe for appearances.
They make Natalie and James look like the ultimate love story.
Macranda.
Yeah.
They make them look like Macranda.
They look like Macranda by comparison. No way. I mean, Raven, once Matt gets into the real world and gets back to his regular schedule, no way. That maybe Raven may want to keep the facade going, but like, what appearances are they doing, Taran? Raven.
Yeah, I mean it's no what was it? What was the Zakia and Polly one? What was their acronym? Zolly,
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to know, like, when he gets out of the house and everyone, like, they give him the whole spiel about, like, Raven Exposed Party. Like, what's his reaction to that? Does he go defense mode, or does he go back away slowly?
I think just like almost everything else we've ever seen, I think he goes into apathetic cereal eating mode.
Yeah, but don't hide, because then he'll get worked up.
What do you call values, bro? But yeah. So, Taran, could you give us a rundown of the votes coming up for Thursday? Is it going to be unanimous?
It should be. I think Kevin mentioned that he might throw a vote Raven's way just because he hates her and doesn't want her to get no votes. So there could very easily. I mean, there's been plenty of hinky votes this season, but as far as like what people actually want, everybody wants Matt out of the house. So everyone should be voting Matt out of the house. Just there might be some shadiness going on.
Yeah. Taran, anything else of note going on over the last 24 hours?
I mean, like I said, Josh has been talking almost every day about the fact that Paul seems like he's really trying to set himself up to be safe on all sides, to be covered in all angles, and it's really starting to sketch him out. Paul has not really caught on yet, and that's why I said that Josh may be the only theoretical hope if we want to see a Paul downfall, because Josh is just he's seeing what Paul is doing, and the thing is that it's benefiting Josh, so it doesn't matter too much to him. But this is exactly, again, like the trajectory that we saw Steve Moses go on, and Steve Moses ends up obviously cutting Vanessa at the end. Steve was a bit ahead of Josh in terms of that, but we could see that happen at this point.
Yeah. But I feel like that for every time we talk about Josh in this way, about, okay, maybe is he the prince that was promised? He's going to go ahead and make this sort of big move against Paul. Then we see him do something crazy like what he was doing with Kevin the other day. It's kind of a buzzkill.
Yeah, he just loses it. And again, like because Paul was trying to get him. You should confront Kevin. You should yell at Kevin. And Josh was saying, no, I don't want to do that. Josh has been defending Kevin. Josh has been saying, like Josh is with Jason almost in the sense that like Josh has always been somewhat of a fan of Kevin. Josh has recently turned on Kevin, and the reason he blew up on him was because he heard that Kevin was saying that he didn't know what he was doing, that he was being dragged along, and that really set Josh off. And again, I just feel like Josh gets caught up in this thing where it's like he wants to be the Ica character, but then he immediately regrets it and feels bad about it. And then he gets himself riled up and he goes crazy and then he cries. And he's on a roller coaster, Rob.
So when Kevin and Josh were getting into it the other day, it came out that Josh was accusing Kevin of having won the $25,000. Kevin then said, no, I didn't win it. You won it. You got it. You took it. And has that been a ongoing conversation in the house of who really has the 25K?
Kevin has come out and told Matt and Jason that he did in fact take the $25,000, and it has spread. It was already spread around the house, but now it's definitively out there. Kevin has confirmed it. But when he talks with Josh still, he denies that he ever told Josh that he had the $25,000, which is very confusing.
Mm-hmm. If Kevin should somehow win the HOH on Thursday night, what would Kevin do with that HOH, Taran?
He is going to target Alex, and he's going to put Alex and Raven on the block.
Ooh, I feel like that's the most exciting week we could hope for.
Right? Yeah. I've been saying I really want to see Alex because basically what Paul is doing is he's getting Alex to throw the HOH competition to Josh or Christmas so that Josh or Christmas can take a shot at Alex and Jason. He wants to get Jason out, but I would really love to see Alex throw the HOH and then she go out. And
Josh and Christmas are on board with this plan?
Yes, Josh isn't the biggest fan of having to be the one to take the shot, but Christmas is fully prepared, and Josh is willing to do it. So that's currently the game plan. It would be surprising if we had a different outcome because basically Raven is willing to throw it to them, Alex is willing to throw it to them, Paul is obviously going to throw it, and then Kevin isn't great at competitions.
Okay. All right, let's take a couple more questions here with the great Randy Bailey from Survivor. Matt G says, if Randy was in the BB19 house, would he have worked with Cody? Could you have gotten along with Cody in the house, Randy?
I think so, especially if no, I was going to say if Jessica wasn't there, but nobody's going to get along with Cody as long as Jessica's there because he's got something else on his mind. And you guys said it best. I listened to you guys a week or two ago that maybe even 3 weeks ago, Cody's game was better without Jessica and Jessica's game was better without Cody. So, yeah, I think Cody and I could have been friends.
It's just like you always say, Randy, love ruins everything.
Love does not exist is what I say.
Oh, sorry about that.
Can't ruin anything if it doesn't exist.
I misquote you. Okay. Byron wants to ask, can we expect Jeremy Piven to drop by the Big Brother house for a special Wisdom of the Crowd premiere for the house guests? Well, I have been saying Bobby Moynihan was going to stop by. Do you think that we will get the classic fall lineup plug of a CBS show, Randy?
Who's Jeremy? What?
Jeremy Piven from Entourage. Yeah, Taran, that would actually be good because I think they could build a competition out of wisdom of crowds. It's like, okay, what was the most popular answer? And we asked all of you guys to give us the answer to this, and you have to guess what the most popular answer was. The wisdom of the crowd.
Yeah, I think the problem though is that there's no wisdom in the crowd of Big Brother 19.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have one more. We have one more question. Byron wants to know, what would Randy Bailey's strategy be in Big Brother? How would it differ from your Survivor strategy, Randy?
Like the great Rudy Bosch once said, there's more of them than there are of me, so you'd have to fit in. How long that strategy would last, I've, probably about an hour, but, that's not true. Hopefully I could fake it for a while. I faked it in Africa for maybe 24 days before, all hell broke loose. But, that would be my strategy.
Okay.
And being older now, I'd stink at most of the competitions, and I wouldn't be a threat. So, it could happen. I could go deep.
Okay, I think we have one more question. Ian says, if he plays Big Brother 20 and shows up and Randy Bailey is there, what should I do? Should I vote him out? No, keep Randy around, right?
No, who asked that question?
That's Ian. That's from Ian.
Ian who?
Ian Fernsey, I believe.
Oh, not
Ian.
Not our Ian.
No.
Okay.
No.
Ian Terry and I are friends. He'd know better than to vote me out.
Yeah.
But no, don't vote me out. Keep me around.
Okay. All right. So keep Randy around if he's ever going to play in a Big Brother season. Are you still going to apply for Big Brother, Randy? Are you still trying to get onto Big Brother?
They know who I am. I've given them my 2 cents, and I put a pretty good audition tape out there a year or so ago. So I'm not holding my breath.
Well, would you go back on Survivor? Like, I feel like you'd do really good the second time.
Wait, what?
No, like you were so great on Gabon. I feel like if you got a second chance, I feel like you'd do pretty well.
Third chance.
Do you even watch Survivor?
Yeah, no, yeah, you were totally sorry.
Did you miss season 20 or what?
No, you were on Heroes versus Villains, yeah.
Rob, don't you prep this guy?
So that he is our key cog in the Big Brother coverage, Randy. You have to forgive him for that.
We're out there sweating, starving, bleeding, and you don't even know that I've been on the show twice.
No, I totally knew. I misspoke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Misspoke my ass. Rob, I don't blame you for this, but if we're going to do Big Brother podcast again, get Alex, get that one lucky gay guy or whatever.
Yeah, Brent.
Brent, but this bozo, I'm done with this bozo. I've had enough.
Randy, that was a mistake. I think it was a mistake. Okay, Randy has walked. So,
Taran, fucking God damn it! Can't. Jeez.
All right. Tomorrow check out on reality TV wrap ups. Nick Iadanza is Millennials versus Gen X winner Adam Klein on the podcast to talk about Australian Survivor. American Ninja Warrior wrap up is back. Season 9, episode 12 from Denver.
God damn it.
And then Taran is going to be live once again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific to talk about the latest happenings on the Big Brother live feeds. So,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, tomorrow night, Ramsey Soto will be our guest. Very excited. Looking forward to catching up with Ramses and seeing what he's been doing life outside of the house. And don't forget to check out a all-new episode of The Taran Show with Melissa Denny this week. Great job on that one.
Thank you, Rob.
Really nailed it.
Thanks.
We're going to have a Survivor 35 kickoff special with Mike Bloom also coming up for you guys tomorrow morning. So be on the lookout for that. What hashtag kiss my ass? Was that what we're going with, Taran?
I guess so. I mean, do you think he's going to come back? I mean, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Randy? Okay. All right. We'll be back tomorrow night for more of our Big Brother coverage. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.